Here's an IM. Dope Hope. Sam, I know you don't pay attention to trials. Will you make an exception for the Trump trials? Perhaps even live commentary if they're broadcast? I think undoubtedly.
Yeah.
I mean, the Trump trials is not a typical thing. There are massive political implications.
It's purely political.
And a lot of this information is stuff that we've already discussed, and that's well established. It's been reported on. I mean, some of the indictment included the new, really disturbing Jeff Clark Insurrection Act stuff, but we knew a lot of like these meetings had happened previously. The Jeffrey Clark meeting, or the Eastman meetings with Pence, we knew about. So it's different than commenting on, like, say,
well, even the Jean
police
Carroll
brutality trial where we don't have all the facts that the jury might have.
Or I mean, even the Jean Carroll suit is a perfect example. It involves Trump as a defendant. We will report on the outcome, but to follow the ins and outs of each of the trial, it seems largely irrelevant for the project that we have here. And I would even argue, like, the stolen document trial, maybe that's also different because we're talking about operations of a president while he's a sitting president
and running for president.
And then, of course, running for president. But this is important. I mean, the idea that we hold the president to account for things like, laws that we would hold for things that have to do with the operations of our government and the future of democracy. The stakes and the nature of the situation is very different. So,
and I think we also, for the debates that are coming up, we're going to want to do some coverage of that as well. Just a heads up to the
without
audience.
a doubt.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
They're not broadcasting the Trump trial, are they?
They're hoping to.
Are they?
Trump wants to. The Democrats want to. It's really, I mean, and this is doable because, again, despite Anthony Scalia, despite Sam Alito's protestations, Congress really does have the constitutional authority to regulate the courts, including the Supreme Court. And so if Congress says this case is going to be televised, guess what happens? This case gets televised. And so it really is up to the Republicans, but Donald Trump wants it.
Yeah.
And
the Republicans might want it too.
I suspect the leadership of the Republican Party is like, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Because, but Donald Trump wants it because it's going to make sure that he wins the primary and gets more money for his defense, right? Like, he's going to use this to raise money. Remember, Donald Trump's defense in this, and we see it in the context of the motion that they filed, or they're asking of the judge. We want to be able to release the evidence that we get from the prosecution. We want to be able to release that. They're saying, they're putting it in the context of Donald Trump. This is from Politico. Donald Trump argued Monday that he should be allowed to share evidence in his latest criminal case with, quote, volunteer attorneys and other unpaid advisors as he prepares to defend himself against charges. Open source. That's exactly how I headlined it. He's like, volunteer attorneys aren't necessarily attorneys that have a degree, and other unpaid advisors. I want to send this out to Mike Cernovich and Jack Prosobiec and see what we can do.
My cousin Vinny situation.
The government cannot preclude the assistance of those individuals, nor should President Trump be required to seek permission from the court before any such individuals assist the defense. This is from his lawyer. I mean, the bottom line is they want to be able to use this because, remember, his defense here, and of course the prosecution is, we don't want him tried in the court of public opinion. That's not what this is about. One, if you have all this evidence, it's going to make it harder to find a jury pool that is you're going to have to sequester them, right?
Yeah.
Two, if you have all this evidence, Trump can use it in what his real defense is. And his real defense strategy is, used the trial to get elected president and then pardoned himself.
And all the while it's rigged against him because it's a black judge, black jury.
That's all part of it.
And how can you get a jury that's going to be unbiased because of all of the witch hunts against me? It's all rigged.
That's all part of it. And so this is part of his larger strategy. And so he wants it televised, whereas I would imagine the Republican sort of leadership does not. So,
But not the Republican part of the leadership that wants to move on from Trump.
I mean, moving on from Trump is really, I think all of them want to do that in some way just because there's less work for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really, this is Coke and Pepsi. And, you know, it's really like Coke, Pepsi, and some like, you know, Coca-Cola, some cola company in, you know, that is stationed in like, I don't know, Woburn, Mass. And it's just like, we're just hiring our buddies. You know, we're not hiring any other soda guys. I'm hiring the guy that does my car. I'm hiring the guy that I, you know, used to work with over in the mall at Spencer Gifts, and we're just gonna run the whole soda business, and we're in charge of it now. And you guys who were working on Coke and Pepsi before, you're out of luck. And so they want to get back into the business. That's what's going on there. All right, we'll be right back. 646-257-3920. Oh, wait a second. Emma, what's happening on ESPN? I'm completely out of sorts.
Yeah.
You did a segment instead of the plugs.
I don't know what's going on. I'm tired. I'm already, listen, my daughter's going to college.
Yeah.
Turning 18 tomorrow.
Woo, wow.
Wow.
How's that feel?
Old
Her
dog.
birth was announced on this show.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
So,
How old was she when she recorded the thing at the start of the show? Like 7?
I don't know. I mean, maybe 4, 5.
That's so sweet.
Oh, God. And, you know, I want to have Saul do it, but then I feel bad. Like, Miles didn't, you know, it's just,